Welcome to the Cauldron Counsel, where we take your questions submitted by the community, and they are answered by 3 witches, the Maiden, the Mother, the Crone, 3 different archetypes, 3 different age groups, 3 different walks of life.
I'm Stormy the Maiden.
Percy the Mother.
Mimsy the Crone. The council is in session. Like and subscribe. Ready for the first question?
All right. We got submitted by Ren. Thoughts on familiars? Better/preferred as a pet or a wild animal, fictional or not? Would you rather have one or not?
What do you think?
I'm trying to make sure that I read that correctly first.
Thoughts on familiars?
So I have never personally had a familiar myself, but I do definitely believe that they're a thing. I mean, I've seen enough people to know that the familiars are definitely a thing. I personally haven't found mine yet. That's all I really have for that one, because I know that they're real. I just don't have it.
What it says, when it comes to like better or preferred pet or wild animal, I personally don't think your pets. I understand why some people would think they're pets, like if a pet came to them in a state, like they show up and you nurse them back and it's a whole thing. But I have seen more relevance with the people that I know that have had familiars where they were a wild animal that is doing something that is uncharacteristic of their wild nature, and it's most of the time only for that specific person. Fictional or not, are you implying, like, I assume you're implying like mythical critters involved in all the fun stuff. I don't want a mythical critter as a familiar.
Could you imagine trying to feed a griffin?
Okay, but Cerberus is cute.
Cerberus, a little puppy Cerberus.
I would love to have one, but I'm a huge animal buff, so that's why. Like, I rescue everything. I go pick it up out of the street. I'm like, you're my friend now.
Okay, thoughts on familiars. Better preferred as a wild animal, or as a pet or a wild animal. Would you rather have one or not? This is a hard one for me. I really didn't have much thought on familiars until the last few years. I don't think that they should be pets, because traditionally familiars are basically living wards. And what happens to a ward? You know what happens to a ward when you put a ward up? If somebody attacks you spiritually, if somebody attacks you energetically, your ward takes that for you. And I don't want that to happen to a pet. However, we're going to start off with me crying, of course. I have a wild squirrel that chose me. She was still not a teeny tiny baby, but she was a juvenile. She was small when she started coming around. And funny story, I started putting peanuts out to try and make friends with the crows in the neighborhood, and the crows wanted nothing to do with me, which broke my heart, because I really thought, like, I'm going to be friends with the crows. But the squirrels loved it, right? And I'm not the type of person to put out like bird seed or something for one specific type of animal and then be like, oh, but you can't have one. Like, I know a lot of people will put bird seed out in their feeders and then, use deterrents to try to keep squirrels from it. If I'm going to put it out there, it's for everybody.
It's free reign,
for everybody that want it. So Neville is what we call her. Neville came into my life. And we call her Neville because when she first started coming around, she would come on the top of the roof while I was sitting on the front porch, and she would like dive bomb / like belly flop from the roof into the bushes. And that's how she would announce that she was there and come to me when she realized I was sitting on the porch. And so I started calling her Sweet Knievel, because she's not evil. So I started calling her Sweet Knievel. And then it just got shortened to Neville. Anywho, this squirrel and I became friends, as silly or kooky as it may sound, and I really have grown to love her. And I mean really, really, really love her. And it's hard for me because we're talking about moving and I know that I'm about to lose her. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably never going to see her again. And it's really, really hard. And so having this sort of emotion attached to a familiar, you're definitely going to have an emotional attachment to a pet. And that is why I think that you should not have a pet as a familiar. And I know this is actually a pretty controversial topic within witch communities. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love my Neville. I love her so much. And I didn't even really realize that she was a familiar until my husband and my daughter said something. It was like, oh, she's your familiar. And I was like, no, oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she kind of is, isn't she? I mean, she literally chose me.
She dive bombed into your life.
She dive bombed into my life. It started actually with her, like, crawling, like, coming up to me and just crawling on my leg, or, you know, she's fearless, and she's always been fearless. I love that about her. And I actually tried to make it a habit to throw the peanuts away from me, because I didn't want her to take them from my hand, because I didn't want her to associate people with that. Mm-hmm. Because not everybody's going to be friendly with squirrels that just walk up to them. And I didn't want to put her in any danger, but she didn't give me a choice. Like, it didn't take very long before she was running up to the porch and just jumping right in my lap. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, well.
Yeah, well,
here's your peanut.
I guess hand feeding we're beyond that now. I would have, especially when it was colder outside, I would have a hoodie on and I would just go outside and sit on the porch and drink my tea or my coffee, and I would stuff peanuts in my little hoodie, little kangaroo pouch. And she would just run up and jump in my lap and just start digging through my hoodie. And she still does that. And this was 6 years ago.
Oh.
6 years. This squirrel has been in my life for 6 years now. I am very attached. I'm very, very attached. So, should pets be familiars? No. And honestly, you should try really hard to not be super emotionally attached to your familiars, because of the aspect of them taking a hit for you.
Makes you sad.
Yeah, but if you're an animal lover, honestly, it's hard to avoid that. Mm-hmm. And would you rather have one or not? Of course, yeah, I would. As much as I'm gonna really, really miss her, I would rather have had that experience in my life. She's taught me a lot. I would like to say that I have taught her, but I probably haven't. She probably just thinks I'm a silly human with delicious peanuts, and that's all I am to her, but I'm okay with that. There's definitely a level of trust there, though, because she doesn't do that to everybody. I might actually throw some pictures up of her sitting on my shoulder and stuff. Just so that people aren't like, you're lying, You
don't have a fucking squirrel.
Right.
You don't have to believe in evil for her to exist.
Would I rather have a familiar overall? Yeah, because of the experience I've had with Neville, for sure. So yeah. That was a sad question.
I'm sorry.
Abra teared up, but I think I'm officially the first one to actually cry.
If this podcast ever makes me cry, that's a whole other barrel of monkeys I don't want to deal with. Ooh, big one. So this has been submitted by Bald and Bearded.
Fun.
Most likely an unpopular opinion and in no way intended to call out any belief or practice as wrong. I feel that in popular modern witchcraft and pagan practices, there seems to be too much emphasis on working with, worship of, or having a direct communication or relationship with a particular deity. This feels like a habit carried over from a culture with centuries of ingrained Christian and predominantly Protestant beliefs that thrive on the concept of the importance of the individual's personal relationship with a singular deity. In my opinion, the many deities, demons, and spirits of the various belief systems, past and present, are representations and attempts to understand and communicate aspects, forces, and truths of nature, the universe, and the overall human experience through the lens of the culture's perspective and experiences. What is your opinion?
Holy crap.
It's a good thing I like to read.
Wow.
So, I actually do agree with this, especially because it's become really mainstream of like, who's your deity? Who do you work with? Who do you work with? And as somebody that quite literally avoided working with anybody for a very long time because of some trauma from Christian upbringing and then also just personal, I could definitely see where it comes. It's because you have a lot of, and I don't want to discredit anyone when I say that. We have a lot of people deconstructing from Christianity, coming into this faith, but those are also some of the ones that are pushing so heavily into like knowing who you worship and knowing it's like, that's not everyone's walk.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's walk. And I can see where, the Christian faith can kind of push the idea that you should have some higher power that you answer to, I guess, in some aspects. Yeah, I actually agree with everything he said here, honestly. I don't think deities in and of themselves are necessarily Christian based, because at the end of the day, there was things that existed in lore before that predate Christian faith.
They're older. Yeah.
Yes. And so, but I do think the excess and like, you have to have one, you have to know what it is, and you need to, make sure you're doing XYZ by this, and this. I do think that is a very heavily pushed Christian belief that's kind of fallen.
Residual?
Yeah, it's kind of shockwaved out, rippled. It's rippled out into it's not even just witchcraft, other faiths in general. Like most faiths, it's like, well, you have to know who, what, when, where. Mm-hmm. No, you can just not. You can just not. There you go.
Oh, Lord.
My wise woman.
Sorry, I'm going to have to read this
That's fair. It's
again. I think I disassociated a little bit while you were reading it. I feel like the Cauldron chose violence today. Okay.
Teeny bit.
I feel that in popular modern witchcraft and pagan practices, there seems to be too much emphasis on on working with, worship of, or having a direct communication or relationship with a particular deity. I would actually kind of agree with this as far as modern practices go. But because, polytheism, that's the word I'm looking for. Polytheism existed long before Christianity. I don't feel like the emphasis is residual to Christianity. Now, as far as modern, as it being a habit, I think that only applies to people who either grew up in Christian households or, were in Christian, like Bible Belt towns, stuff like that. And so that can sort of be habit forming, because if you had to deconstruct from that Christianity, from that mindset, from that, spiritual...
It's hard to dismantle a lot if it's ingrained.
Correct, yes. Although I don't necessarily feel like having a direct relationship with a deity because of deconstructing from Christianity is... What is the word I'm looking for? I am so discombobulated at this point. I almost feel like when you deconstruct from Christianity, you're more likely to push all deities away and not have a relation and not try to force a relationship.
And then they Kool-Aid Man into your life.
Hey! Yes, that. As far as being comfortable comfortable working, trying to seek out a deity, I could also see that being a comfort thing. Because if you, were Christian or raised in church or what have you, then you might feel like that aspect is missing. There's sort of a void there, and you want to fill that with something. Predominantly Protestant beliefs that thrive on the concept of the importance of the individual's personal relationship on a singular deity. I do agree where they say, in my opinion, the many deities, demons, and spirits of the various belief systems, past and present, are representations and attempts to understand and communicate aspects, forces, and truths of nature, the universe, and the overall human experience through the lens of that culture's perspective and experiences. I'm sorry, I had to reread it and understand.
Aesop's Fables.
I do agree that it represents a very, very human experience. It's a very human experience to want to have a connection with something greater than ourselves. And looking at, a culture's perspective and experiences kind of goes in what we had talked about in last episode, I think, where sometimes the area that you're in can actually have an impact on the deities that are present there. And so it's all about the human experience. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a better, wiser answer to that.
She was wise.
I still have squirrels on the brain. I apologize.
So I agree with everything you guys said. I don't really have much to add to it, but the one thing that I will add to is the fact that, talking about popular modern witchcraft and social media, because I think that's a lot of what he's referring to right now is social media and stuff. And I have a lot of issues with a lot of the way that people, I guess they kind of market it on Facebook. They're pushing it. They're oh, hey, this tarot read is your tarot read. You need to watch this. Or hey, you're watching this now, so this deity is who's trying to talk to you. All those really bother me, and I feel like that's a lot of what people think of whenever they think of modern witchcraft nowadays. That's what they're thinking of.
So I agree 100% because social media is actually one of the reasons I missed a lot of signs for some of the deities that I work with now.
Interesting.
Because I was get the fuck out of my algorithm.
Yeah.
I was no.
I don't want to speak for the gods, but I could almost guarantee you that the gods and goddesses do not care about technological algorithms. They don't.
It was
But they put such generalized information out there that it can literally resonate with anybody, and so that's why people actually latch onto those things, and they're oh, I heard that. I had cards read. I had my cards read a while back, and I mean, it felt like it was very targeted towards me, but when you really think about it, it's actually just a very broad message that anybody could take any
if
part
they got trauma
out
or
of. But that's what people are thinking about when they think of modern witchcraft. Is a lot of that. It's all being kind of shoved down your throat. Or
marketing.
I texted you guys that night about the fact that, or about the lady who was doing tarot readings over live and stuff like that, but she wouldn't actually talk to anybody unless they paid her. I got ignored. I got blatantly ignored by asking her how long she had been practicing for. I got ignored because it's the money aspect of it.
You have a story about tarot online?
I do, kind of, yeah. There was someone that used to work in my department that quit during COVID because she started making more money doing remote tarot readings through Messenger or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Zoom.
And what's crazy is that she wasn't, as far as I know, she wasn't any kind of an experienced tarot reader. She was just
There.
Googling as she went, and yeah.
That makes me so sad.
Those are what we call charlatans.
Yeah.
Charlatans.
Very serious message for those of you who are new to it. Do not go to TikTok or go on Facebook. I mean, like there's some people who are genuinely out there who really want to help you, but a majority of them are just looking for money. So like with what he was saying with it being so deity focused, do not pay attention to them. Do your own research. Look into it yourself.
Look for the signs. Look for the.
Don't just pay attention to what the modern witchcraft is nowadays.
Discernment?
There you go.
Yes, I love that word.
Use your discernment.
Yes.
Use your discernment.
Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't fall into the honey trap of.
I would actually somewhat disagree with telling people to, look for signs. Because I don't want for anybody to be actively looking for stuff that's not there. The sort of the confirmation bias whenever you're actively looking for a sign. I feel like that's dangerous, or it can be. So anywho,
it's your
I'm
question.
kind of scared of what the Cauldron is doing to us today.
I believe
You're
in
being
you.
mean.
I believe in you.
We need to be nice.
It's spicy.
Let's be nice.
Spicy.
Oh. Submitted by Anonymous. What are your thoughts on love spells? Where do you draw the ethical line? Why are you doing this?
Don't you love love?
I love love. Not a big fan of love spells. I will say I only ever did one love spell my whole life. Been married to the man for over 20 years. So I guess, if you do it right, you only need to do it the one time. I don't know. As far as it being ethical, I think love spells are great for attracting truth and love, attracting, love to yourself. Self-love. Self-love spells. Do all the self-love you want to. It's fantastic. Trying to make someone fall in love with you, I just feel like is really manipulative. And if somebody doesn't want to be with you, just let that person go. There's no need to try to force that. It's icky, and you don't want that anyway. If you have to force them, then just don't.
I think they just came out with a horror movie that's about that.
I watched it.
Yeah,
What
it's
is
called
it?
Obsessed or something like that.
It's I can't remember what it's called.
You
I'll
make
send
a
it
wish.
to you later.
You call this phone line and make a wish, and he wished for.
Oh no, he went into a metaphysical shop and got it.
Literally, it's to make this chick that he likes only love him basically. But the thing is, she just starts anything that comes in between him and her, and he's trying to undo it.
The way that he worded his words, what he said is, "I want her to love me more than anyone in the world or anything in the world."
Yeah, he made it where she just became crazy.
Yeah, so he actually this is also a thing where your words are very important when you're doing things.
Gotta be specific.
Because that's not what he wanted. That's not actually what he ended up
and
wanting.
And he couldn't undo it.
He didn't actually want to undo it. That was the whole. There's a whole. That movie is messed up.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've just seen the trailer.
It's a good one though. If you're thinking about doing a love spell, go watch that movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, that'll tell you why you don't do them.
Consequences.
Here comes a consequence.
Your turn.
Consequences of my actions chasing ever now. Okay.
I love y'all.
So, what are your thoughts on love spells? I don't have nice thoughts on love spells. They are, I don't agree with doing them at all. It's where do you draw the ethical line? I think there should be an ethical boundary there that everybody should know. I feel like everybody should have that ethical boundary of that's not an okay thing to do. If you want to do a love spell on somebody else, think about doing you need to do a love spell on yourself then.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
You need to have enough self-love for yourself to realize that you don't need that. That's not your path. That's not for you. I personally, I know somebody who actually used to mentor me. Her mentor, the one who was originally mentoring her, she ended up doing a love spell on my mentor's boyfriend at the time. They had broken up. They weren't together anymore, but both they stopped being friends, and her mentor ended up doing a love spell on him. This was a perfectly healthy man, like a man who, like, he was in the gym every day, he went to work every day, he worked like blue collar job, like kind of thing. He was a very healthy man. Within a week of that love spell, of her doing that love spell, this man ended up with stage 4 cancer. He ended up losing one of his daughters.
Oh my god.
Because he physically couldn't take care of her anymore because of how, like, he got sick so fast and went downhill so quickly. And I'm honestly not 100% sure what ended up happening to him, because at that point, when she had told me, that's when he was actively going through all of that. So I still don't even actually know if he ended up making it out on the other side. So my whole thing is, even if the consequence doesn't directly come to you, that consequence can be towards them. I mean, that he could have lost his life. Like, that's a serious thing. You're messing with somebody's free will. You're messing, like, that's not something that you should ever do.
Yeah. So I will say that I think a lot of people within the craft and outside of the craft would argue that could be coincidence.
Yeah,
You know?
and it could be a coincidence. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying, like, I mean, think about it.
When the lines start lining, it's hard to
If it
not
walks
line.
like, yeah, no.
Think about what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my thoughts on love spells are, personally, unless it's self-love, you shouldn't do them. You should not interfere with someone's free will. You should not interfere with people's conscious in that way. You should not manipulate people's emotions in that way. At that point, I would, maybe a hot take, at that point you're just a spiritual narcissist. If you're trying to manipulate someone's feelings to benefit you and not taking their consent into consideration,
Yeah.
because you are only responsible for you.
That.
So if you really love that person, you would love them enough to respect their decision. So what you're probably talking about is lust or infatuation, which are not love.
Or obsession.
Or obsession, which is, again, not love.
Right.
Love is made and done out of, you know, a deep feeling for another person. You want what's best for them. You might not be what's best for them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You're wanting them to be happy and be the best versions of themselves. If they're not choosing you, there's probably a fucking reason. Maybe work on yourself, and that might naturally manifest. Where I draw the ethical, like with an ethical line, again, it's a free will thing. If you wouldn't want somebody to take your free will, don't do that to someone else. When it comes to an ethical thing, if you are...
Treat others how you would want to be treated.
Don't put it out if you don't want it to come back. Because at the end of the day, it will. If you take someone's free will and take someone's choices, even if that doesn't end up the way that you wanted it to, who's to say down the road karma doesn't come back around and you end up on the other side of that, the other side of that candle.
Yeah. I do want to add something in with this, because here I am like, don't do love spells, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I did one. I want to clarify that when I did it, I was still very, very new and everything.
He's a baby.
I did the baby. I was 15, 16.
Well, you were the baby.
Yeah,
You were
I was
itty
really young.
bitty.
And that's how long we've been together. I mean, we've been together. We were high school sweethearts. So, did what I do worked? Maybe. Maybe I just got really lucky. I don't know.
I feel like the feelings had to have been there as well for a love spell to truly work without
I agree.
nuclear fallout.
I agree. But the point is I would never do it again. One, because I guess I really don't need to. But even if that hadn't worked out, I think that was really dumb and naive of me to do. Yeah, so just wanted to clarify that, because I didn't want people being like, hypocrite, you know? No,
everyone
my
makes
mind
oopsies.
changed.
Well, I feel like there's something to be said for being able to be like, yeah, hey, I did this, but I don't agree with this now.
Yeah, like I was young and uninformed and didn't have all the information and made a decision based off hormones and want.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
And we ended up where we are now, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
I mean, if you want to get technical, I'm pretty sure we've all done the he loves me not, she loves me not with the flower kind of thing. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to get technical, we've all done some sort of weird little.
Or the, what is it, the
Fortune
yeah, the
teller,
fortune teller
the
thing.
origami fortune
Yeah.
tellers.
I mean, if it's all about intention and your thought and stuff like that, then I mean, somebody could argue that
manifest.
we've all done similar things before.
Yeah, I
It's
think-
just you learn.
I think what we're talking about is when you sit down at your lovely altar under candlelight and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
all right. You're like, oh no.
It was under a full moon.
Oh
We're outside under a full moon.
full moon.
No, go away. Little friend's trying to get on my straw.
He likes it.
I like it too. It's sweet tea. Sweet tea.
I don't know, that was heavy but not heavy because
No, that was heavy.
the cauldron was not very nice with these questions.
We're not friends right now, Mr. Cauldron. We are not friends right now. All right, well, like and subscribe. Bye.
Still going. Goes forever.
Yay. Okay, bye. Bye.